I'm Zach.
And I'm Lindsay.
And we're the Game Forum.
Alright, I guess we're just going to go ahead and open up with some new stuff that's been going on with us lately. I don't really have a whole lot of stuff going on with me. Still been working on my 3D printing stuff a little. Set up a paint booth the other day and put a light in it. Probably going to start trying to do some stuff with that soon. What about you, Zach?
Nothing really. I got a laptop yesterday, which today's Sunday, so Saturday. It's actually, it's pretty good. It was $230, which is really cheap for a laptop.
Prices on laptops and computers in general have gone down like a ton.
Yeah.
I remember, just a couple years ago, something like that would probably be at least $500 or $600. And $200 for something pretty decent is crazy.
Yeah. It was a good deal, and it's definitely nice having something that I can work on or work with. But other than that, I've only played like 20 minutes of Kingdom Hearts, and then what was it? Maybe 45 minutes to an hour of The Order, 1886, and then I played some Call of Duty, the single player, to capture some footage for a review that should be going up shortly after this video goes up, at least the week of.
Yeah. I got on and played some Call of Duty the other day. Got on to check out Crossout. They had a new add-on.
They update more?
Yes, they're always doing updates. Doing like a cyber contagion style stuff.
Ooh.
Looks pretty interesting. Went on, got some new parts, played some of the new levels. Had fun with that for a little bit, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess getting on into things, I saw a trailer for a new game coming out soon. It's Gundam Extreme vs. Maxiboost on. I'm a big Gundam fan. Looks more like it's based on an arcade game from what I've seen. Looks really interesting. It's definitely going to be one of the arcade style fighting games. You get to pick a bunch of the different mobile suits from a bunch of different series. I'm pretty excited about this one. I'm really still kind of spoiled from Gundam Breaker. I love the customization aspects of stuff. So I'll probably go back in and play this one. I didn't really get into Gundam Versus as much. So hopefully I like this one a lot better.
Is it a full price? Because the last thing that came out was free, right?
Well,
or was it not?
No, most of the ones coming out for consoles have been full priced. So I'm thinking this one will probably be full price too.
What was that free one that you reviewed?
The mobile game was free.
Oh, okay.
That one's pretty fun. If y'all haven't checked it out, it's Gunpla Battle Gundam Warfare. It's a free mobile game based on the Gundam Breaker franchise, where you get to build and customize your own mobile suit. And they keep adding more and more stuff in. They just added in group arena battles to where you get to go in with other people and fight like boss style enemies and stuff. So some of them gets really hard.
What was the other free one on PlayStation? What was that? Is that part of the Gundam?
You
reviewed it. Remember?
Oh yeah, no, Gundam Battle Operation. I guess that one was free. I forgot that one. I forgot that one was free.
Crazy. Yeah.
That one felt like it was a full priced game. It was pretty good. I haven't got on and played that one lately, but I had a lot of fun with it when it first came out. I need to get back in there and see if they've added any new stuff in.
Didn't you say that there were? I can't remember. It was that or the mobile game, and then because you're supposed to be adding stuff, I can't remember which was which. God, I can't. Yeah, I don't know. I get them all confused. I think it was the phone game that was supposed to be adding something, but it wasn't there yet. It was like a raid or
that's what I was
thing?
just talking about, like
Okay.
the group battles and stuff like that.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm sure that's updated. I don't know about the PS4 one though.
Yeah, I haven't gotten onto that one in about the last month. I need to get back onto that one and see if they've added any new stuff in. But also other Gundam related stuff. They put out a short 10-minute video on Gundam Info. It's the GP40 project. It's part of Gundam's 40th anniversary, and it's a pretty much like a short summarized version of almost like the first couple of episodes off the original Gundam series. But it's been retooled a bit to be a little bit more steampunk. Like I don't know why they like changed a lot of the designs and stuff up as much. I've really enjoyed the Gundam Origin series. I'm really hoping they'll go in and remake the original Gundam series because I love Gundam, but I mean it was made in the 70s and that animation style really hurts to look at. So it could use an update. But I don't know why they went off into this steampunk style aesthetic. I mean, they do a lot of alternate universe stuff, but when getting with the original series, I think they should probably just leave it alone and keep it the way it's been. It's worked well for them for the last 40 years.
It's been around for 40 years.
Yes,
That's crazy. Oh wow. What else? There was a Clone Wars trailer, which I had just watched earlier today, and you've already seen it.
yes.
It looks cool. I watched the first episode of Clone Wars, but I haven't watched any more than that.
So I was also a really big fan of the Clone Wars series. It ended up being canceled when Disney bought Lucasfilm because it was airing on Cartoon Network. They ended up starting Rebels and Resistance, and I need to give those shows another shot. I've tried, but those shows, I need to just grit my teeth and get through it. I hear they get a lot better as they go on, but Clone Wars I always really enjoyed, so I'm really excited to see the final season being finished and coming out. I think it comes out at the end of February.
Yeah.
So, I just started rewatching the Clone Wars series again as a kind of refresher. It's been a little while.
How many seasons are in the Clone Wars?
I think there were 6, and I think this is supposed to be its 7th season.
Okay. Well, that's not a whole lot. I think. Well, I guess it depends on how many episodes are in a season.
Yeah, there's a good bit. I want to say there's most seasons have about 20 to 25 episodes or something.
Oh, okay.
So there's a good bit of stuff there. I do have to say, for anyone who hasn't seen it, it does fluctuate a lot. Like, some episodes are, like, really kiddie and childish, and they're like, what's going on? Why is this here? And then the next episode, like, people are getting murdered, and, like, it's really dark, and you're like, oh, wow, this took a complete turn. So there's definitely a lot of stuff in there worth watching, and it's really enjoyable, and definitely gets a lot better as it goes on.
That's good.
There's also some news out. The Obi Wan Kenobi series on Disney Plus apparently has been delayed. They had originally said that the scripting was done and they were about to start production, but apparently that was not the case.
Yeah.
And
everyone's mad at Kathleen, right? Or at least
they need to, okay, I do not like Kathleen Kennedy. Like, she's the one that's in charge of Star Wars.
Yeah.
And after the sequel trilogy, episodes 7, 8, and 9, to me it's very obvious that there was no plan laid out from the beginning.
Ooh.
Like, they're just kind of flying by the seat of their pants. And I think that's really hurt Star Wars as a franchise, and she's the one in charge of it. So if there's going to be someone to point a finger at, it's her fault. She should have made sure that there was a cohesive vision going forward.
Yeah, I haven't seen Rise of Skywalker, and I guess I won't see it in theaters. I'll watch it whenever I can, but yeah, I mean, Force Awakens was good, but then you were like, oh, it's just A New Hope. That's all it is. And then even the end of The Force Awakens is almost like Empire Strikes Back. Or at least the beginning of Empire Strikes Back. The beginning was Hoth, right?
Yeah.
And so it's like
that was it Last Jedi? Because we have a rebel base on a white planet, and they have to use these giant walkers to attack it. I'm like, I've seen this before.
Yeah.
Just like I saw the last movie before, where they do a trench run against a Death Star. I'm like, there's a lot of similarities.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think Rian Johnson held a lot of the story aspects in high regard, like Luke Skywalker throwing away his lightsaber and acting totally different, and just the way they took things. I mean, it didn't really set things up very well going forward. So, you know, I think this whole thing could have been evened out if, you know, she sat down with everybody, came up with a plan, and it's like, okay, we're going to do this in episode 7, we're going to do this in episode 8, and it's going to build up to this in episode 9, because each movie feels very disjointed from the movie before it.
I think when they bought, Star Wars, or Disney bought, just Star Wars. I think they were like, we're going to make a new trilogy. Like, what are we going to do? Like, it doesn't matter. It's Star Wars. You can just throw it.
But I mean, that's her fault. I mean, look at, Kevin Feige's been in charge of Marvel. I mean, Marvel's had like 20-something movies
and
all
they've had
connected.
A vision the entire time.
Exactly. And, you need someone like that leading this type of franchise. I'm like, if you can't even get 3 movies to tie together, and, I mean, these had to tie together to the other 6 movies. So, I mean, there's definitely a lot to do there. But, I mean, it just seems like she's like, well, go make a movie. I don't care what you do. To everybody. JJ, go make something that's safe because the prequels weren't as popular. And then goes to Bryan Johnson, go make whatever you want. I don't care if you undo stuff from the last movie. And then everyone hated that movie, or a lot of people hated that movie.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, JJ, do whatever you need to do to fix this. I mean, there seems to be no cohesive vision.
Yeah.
And I mean, I get George Lucas isn't doing these anymore, and that was kind of his vision. But I mean, there needs to be somebody at the helm lining things up to connect from one movie to another.
Yeah. And then Johnson, I didn't know it, but he directed Looper. Did you ever see that?
Yes, Looper was good.
It was amazing.
Well, did you see Knives Out?
No, but I heard that was really good too.
Yeah, I saw Knives Out, and it was literally the best movie I saw in 2019.
Really?
Like I really enjoy it. He can do good movies.
That's what I'm like. Yeah, because there was a quote that he said. I don't remember what it was word for word, but verbatim it was like, Star Wars movies are for people that want cookie cut plates. They are like cookie cutter plates. They just like normal stuff, and if you mess with it, they get super angry. Which, I mean...
I think what he was trying to get at, and this might have been why he was a bad pick for a movie and a series, it seems like if you give him full creative potential to do his own story, he does really good with it.
Yeah.
But when he's kind of boxed in from, like, this happened before and this has to happen after, like, he's, like, throws a tantrum and is like, I don't want to do that. I want to do this story.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, like, why they got him. They could have had anyone else.
Well, I mean, up until then, I mean, he still does good movies. I mean, I get it. He's a good director, but it's just working within those confines. I guess he doesn't do as good with.
Yeah, but it's like if you're gonna make a sequel to a trilogy as big as Star Wars, you get the Steven Spielberg, not the David Lynch.
Yeah,
you don't get the guy that is like creative, but not widely accepted.
Well, yeah. Again, though, this comes back to Kathleen Kennedy. She's the one calling the shots, lining this stuff up. I mean, if I was a Disney exec, I would boot her out the door and find someone else.
Yeah.
Because I mean, okay, I thought The Mandalorian was pretty good.
Yeah.
But I mean, she I guess has been working with Electronic Arts as well. If she's the head of Star Wars for Disney, and look at the Star Wars games. We've had 3 Star Wars games in the last how many years?
Yeah.
And one of them was the center of a huge controversy.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's 2 years left on their 10-year contract.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure will get renewed after Fallen Order.
I don't know.
I mean, I would hope so.
I kind of wish Disney would not lock Star Wars down to just Electronic Arts.
I think after 2022, which is when it should go up, they'll switch it. Because like with Marvel, what they've done is they went to Sony for the Spider-Man game. They went to Nintendo for the Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3. So I'm pretty sure they went to Xbox for something too.
Yeah.
So there's some rumors going around the Xbox, the Initiative, the crazy like quadruple A studio that they made, is actually working on a God of War style Wolverine game. And so that would be really cool. But you would think that like Disney would do that with Star Wars after Star Wars is done, because like I would love a Ubisoft open world bounty hunter Star Wars game.
Yeah.
Like the Mandalorian or just call it Fett, and it's just Assassin's Creed, but you're Boba Fett, and you're a bounty hunter.
Yeah, that would be really cool. I mean, there's so much potential with stuff you can do in Star Wars.
Naughty Dog making a Star Wars game.
I mean, I would love to see some like capital ship combat stuff, or you could do pod racer games again. I mean, those are super popular. I'm sure they'd still sell well if you redid it with better graphics.
Yeah, that is true.
I mean, there's so much potential, and I just feel like it's really being wasted on Electronic Arts, who are just like, let's maybe do a Star Wars game, but how can we really make sure to extract all the money out of the players? Like Fallen Order really surprised me that it was not microtransaction packed.
Yeah, that makes me think, okay, so like, is that EA going good, or is that Respawn being like, let us do what we want, because we're the only thing that's succeeding right now.
Yeah.
And EA screwed Respawn terribly with Titanfall 2, and then Respawn is like, what are you gonna do now, EA? Because in 2019 they released Apex Legends, which was a smash hit, and also Fallen Order, which was also a smash hit. Yeah. They were both under the creative director Vince Zampella, and he and Stig Agmanson, no, not him, someone else. There was another guy that was with him that's not at Respawn anymore. Worked on, and they were at Infinity Ward, and they worked on Call of Duty 2, 3, 4. And then Modern Warfare 2 and 3. And then they left to form Respawn, and then they got bought by EA to make Titanfall. Like, these dudes were like, they made the best Call of Duties.
Yeah.
And then they made Titanfall, and then
I loved Titanfall too. Yeah. Like, if anybody hasn't played it, it is definitely worth checking out. It's still a really good game.
And then now Vince Zampella is moving from Respawn to the EA Motive studio, which hasn't released a game yet since it's been developed or created. That was the studio that was supposed to have Amy Hennig working on her game. She's the creator of Uncharted 1, 2, and 3, or the writer. She was supposed to be working on a Star Wars game called Ragtag. Then they canceled that and got rid of her. And so now he's going over there to rename the studio and basically do what he did to Respawn to this studio. So now they're going to have another studio that's going to be really good, hopefully.
I was about to say, fingers crossed, because, they also had, 1313, and they canceled that one, too.
Yeah. Yeah, they, for 1313, I don't know why they canceled it, but for Amy Hennig's game, they said it was too linear and story-focused. But then they released Fallen Order.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it was
I think they've got a lot of backlash from canceling a lot of these games, and I guess they're like, well, hell, I guess we'll just take a shot in the dark and see if people like single player games.
Yeah,
surprise.
Yeah, it's like they can do both. They can have the FIFAs and the Maddens and the sports games with microtransactions because it works. It's like there's gambling in sports, so it's like it just fits a little easier. But like with single player games, just keep it single player. Like, I'm pretty sure this year we should be getting a Battlefront 3. Oh, maybe?
I don't know. I think with as much work as they've put into Battlefront 2 and fixing it, I kind of doubt we're going to see a Battlefront 3 this year.
Well, then are we getting a battle game at all this year from EA? Because Battlefield 5 came out, 2018? So I don't think they would release it.
Yeah, no, I haven't seen any news of anything coming out. I think they've been trying to shift their focus to actually fix a lot of their mistakes with previous games and make them better. Because they've been putting all this money into development of these, AAA games and then pulling it out halfway finished and throwing it at the public, and people stop buying them. Like, Battlefield 5, did terrible in sales.
Yeah.
Battlefront 2 was, a huge controversy when it came out because of its pay-to-win mechanics. So I think they're trying to get their credibility back. I would expect to see probably Battlefront 3 or something very similar to it maybe next year after the consoles come out.
That's true. Maybe we'll get both Battlefront 3 and then Battlefield reboot.
I don't think we'll get them both at the same time because they're very similar. Yeah, well, they're very similar games. They cannibalize their audience.
Maybe this year we'll get Titanfall 3.
Maybe that would be awesome.
Far enough in development to where they're they can release it.
Well, I think they're going to hold off on the next thing until the consoles launch.
Yeah.
Can you imagine like Titanfall 3 is like a next-gen launch title? That would be amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. There's no telling, because there was what is it? GDC is a thing that's going on in March, I think. And they did a poll of, because it's a game developers conference, and so they did a poll for all the developers there, and like only 10 to 12% of developers attending the event are working on next gen games, which I feel like that's a small number.
Yeah.
Cause but 58% of them are working on PS4 games, which I guess makes sense, but I don't know, 10%. But I think that 10% is like only PS5.
Yeah.
And with this whole backwards compatibility thing,
a lot of the games coming out are going to come out on both, but they're not like exclusively being designed for the next gen just yet.
Yeah. And another thing with PS5 that I noticed, or I watched, and I don't know if you've seen it, but you know the game Godfall?
Mm-hmm.
There was a leak like of gameplay, and it looks really good. I mean, it looks like a tech demo, but it's a full game, and like the lighting effects and particle effects look really good. But and so they were like, "Oh man, this looks incredible!" And so it leaked, and then the developer was like, "Oh, that's a internal like test build that we built over a year ago." And it was like, "Oh, so this."
So y'all been working on this for a while.
Yeah, so some of these games might actually launch and be like really impressive. Hopefully.
Well, I mean, I've seen a lot of video stuff of like next gen stuff, and I mean, it looks very pretty. Like especially with the new ray tracing technology.
Yeah.
I mean, it's gonna put graphical, stuff like years ahead.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's gonna be a big change.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already starting to see some of that like filter in with some of the new technologies. Like, Modern Warfare is starting to use some of the ray tracing technology. And I mean, the lighting effects in that game look very good.
Yeah.
The smoke effects look very good.
That whole game is so good. Well, I mean, I feel like every time I go on YouTube and watch something about Call of Duty, it's all negative.
Well, I mean, okay, they definitely hit the graphics part on the head.
Yeah.
Because they'd been using an older engine for the last couple Call of Duties, and they made a new one for this one. And I mean, I do have to give them credit where credit's due. It definitely shows.
Yeah.
Like the metal textures, the lighting effects, the smoke effects. It's a very pretty game.
Yeah, that is true. I think the last bit of news we have, well, I guess it's news. It's a rumor. It hasn't been confirmed, but apparently EA, I'm assuming EA, is going to remake Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2. And the rumors that I've heard is that they're actually going to combine them into one game and then make it canon, or at least parts of it official canon.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think this is probably going to be true. From what I had heard, one of the, Disney was going to make a new trilogy because they want to get away from the Skywalker saga.
Yeah.
And I heard that they were going to get the
Game of Thrones people.
Game of Thrones people to
but
develop.
they dropped. So okay, you know how like Game of Thrones. I'm gonna go off on a tangent, but it's really funny. Game of Thrones season 8 was terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like they crammed 3 seasons at least into 8 episodes. No, I think it was 6 episodes, and it was just like atrocious. And so Disney or Star Wars dropped them from that trilogy. And then they had a signed deal with Netflix for a show called, I can't remember. It was supposed to be like a Civil War type show, but from the, no, not Civil War. It was the Revolutionary War, but from the Britain side.
Yeah.
And so it was supposed to be like, ooh, this is kind of controversial or whatever.
Edgy.
A signed contract that Netflix backed out on. We're like, no, you're not even worth the money because season 8 was their first time with Game of Thrones being like their own creativity because the books aren't done.
Yeah, they were going past where the books left off.
And they did so bad that people are like, oh wait, you guys might actually be really good. And so they're currently not working on anything.
But yeah, that Disney trilogy was supposed to be, from what I had heard, Knights of the Old Republic.
Yeah, which would be cool.
I definitely think Disney is interested in doing a Knights of the Old Republic movie. So I think they got with EA, and they're like, hey, go back and remake the old Knights of the Old Republic games.
And have the movie.
To get hype building up so people start, knowing a little bit about Knights of the Old Republic for when they put a movie out. It builds the hype up even more for it.
Yeah. And Rise of Skywalker, there was something. It was like an Easter egg, but one of the troops apparently had some type of battalion tag, and it was Revan Squad or something.
Well, what it was is it's the Sith army from Palpatine.
Yeah.
And each of the divisions were named after different Sith lords.
Okay.
And one of them was named after Revan, which was from Knights of the Old Republic, but this is the first time he's been brought into the canon.
That's
now.
good. I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool. It's a little thing, but it's neat.
Yeah. Did you play Knights of the Old Republic games?
I did not.
Ooh.
They looked really cool. But I think they were pretty much just on PC and Xbox, and I didn't have a good computer at the time or an Xbox.
I think either one of the computers you have right now, you can download them on Steam.
Yeah.
But also, the Xbox that I have, you can backwards compatibility play it 1 and 2, I think. Those games do not hold up, and they're definitely terrible now, but they were so good back then. Because you can literally do whatever you want, and the story will, like, adjust to that. But then it funnels you into, like, the third act being everyone gets the same thing.
Yeah.
It's Mass Effect before Mass Effect, and it was made by BioWare.
Yeah.
And so it was like, oh, God, BioWare should just stop working on Anthem, sorry, Dragon Age 4, sorry, and work on this. Because the fact that this is a rumor it either means that Dragon Age 4 is getting canceled or BioWare's not working on this remake.
I don't know. It's really interesting to see what they're going to do with that. I mean, it could be a little ways off, or maybe Dragon Age is almost finished. Because, I mean, they announced that a while ago.
I think it was the Game Awards 2018 is where they teased it. But I'm not sure. I don't know how long they've been working on it. Because the team that worked on Anthem, I can't remember. They have 2 teams, Edmonton and some other one. And one of them's a good team, one of them's a bad team. The bad team was working on Andromeda, which, okay, makes sense. But then the good team was working on Anthem.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, but there was that rumor that they were working on the game for 7 years, but no one told them what to do until they were on the 5th year of the game because they had, like, no creative direction.
Yeah, well, I do remember hearing something about that now that you mention that. Like, essentially, there was, like, a super rush development process.
Like, I think I read something that, like, they'd come into work and just be like, well, hey, what are we doing today? And some, their upper management would be like, we don't know.
Work on the game.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
And it's like, well,
do it.
Yeah. Like, yeah, that's literally what it was. And so, I mean, I'm glad Anthem didn't kill BioWare, but that, in a way, it did because the people that were probably high quality have left.
Yeah.
And, like, the Anthem team, I think, is like 12 people.
Oh, God.
Like, you can't have 12 people on a service game like that.
No.
Games as a service.
I mean, you're just fixing, like, patch notes and stuff.
Yeah. And so, the BioWare team, hopefully they'll be working on this. I don't know. I mean, they have 2 teams. One team could be on Dragon Age 4. The other team could be on, the Knights of the Old Republic remake. And I guess, I don't know. I don't know how it would work out. Maybe the B team would get Dragon Age 4, which hopefully, it's good. And then the A team could be working on Knights of the Old Republic. But I really don't know. Hopefully that's a thing that comes out. Hopefully it's real. No one's confirmed this.
Yeah, no.
But
I mean, it's definitely just speculation.
by
at this
not
point.
denying it, they have confirmed it. Because that's another thing about, what was it? I think there was some rumor. I can't remember. What was it? I don't know. It was something game related that was like a rumor, but no one has come out and, like, denied it. And so they're like, oh, I think it was something about backwards compatibility or something like that. Something with the controller. And so the fact that, like, Sony, I think it was for Sony, they have to come out and like, oh, no, this is not true. And it's like, well, okay, it's true.
Yeah. Well, I think that's about all we got for this week, everybody.
Yeah, a little short episode, but nothing's really going on this week, so oh well. But I am Zach.
And I'm Lindsay.
And we're the Game Forum.